That's another thing. Another reason. There are statistics showing that oftentimes hyper-religious individuals are more likely to put their faith over scientific evidence. Anti-intellectualism has already cost us with COVID, with how we've seen the like conspiratorial bullshit, the anti-vaxxers and whatnot. So yes, there is a multitude of harm that white evangelicals perpetuate on this country. Or
in this video, Andrew Wilson debates some guy named Hunter Avalon. Andrew Wilson and Hunter Avalon discuss Christianity, and Andrew Wilson's opponent says that white evangelicals are ruining the United States. With that, let's watch Andrew Wilson destroy this sad, misguided loser.
That's another thing. Another reason. There are statistics showing that oftentimes hyper-religious individuals are more likely to put their faith over scientific evidence. Anti-intellectualism has already cost us with COVID, with how we've seen the like conspiratorial bullshit, the anti-vaxxers and whatnot. So yes, there is a multitude of harm that white evangelicals perpetuate on this country, or could, hypothetically. So I think that your argument would be completely doomed. It would have to.
So now answer me this, now that we've established this. Is the happiness level in people who are Christians higher or lower than the average population in the United States?
So I'm going to answer this.
No, just yes or no. Is it higher or lower?
I'm not going to answer it unless I can elaborate, because the answer it needs an elaboration there. So yes, absolutely. Yep, you're right. People in religious circles do have happier or higher rates of happiness.
Doesn't it do them harm if you were to take that away from them?
Sure. Yes. So here's the thing.
So now we're talking about which.
Wait. Hold on. Wait. Because it's not the religious aspect of it, but rather the community aspect of it. So if you were to gauge like a group of people that say every like Saturday they went to some like big community event with like community picnic and then went bowling or whatnot, you would find higher rates of happiness in those people as well. Having a structured community is what gives you that higher level of happiness. And again, I'm not shitting on all of religion. My parents are very religious. I respect them for that, and that's because I recognize that for them it is a form of community, and that's important for people.
What I'm trying to get to the heart of here is that it seems like your issues are secondary to the religion. You're saying this is how religious people behave in this political sense that I disagree with. I'm asking, what are your fundamental problems?
White evangelicals are the reason that there were issues during COVID, and they cost us somehow? How did they cost us during COVID? And you're saying all white Christian evangelicals were I can't say the word because of YouTube. What if I just didn't think it had been studied enough? Am I allowed to object to taking it? Terrible argument there. He said that hyper-religious people put their faith over science. I know there are denominations of Christianity. I don't want to name one and be incorrect, but I know there are denominations of Christianity that, never go to the hospital, don't trust any science. Personally, I'm a Christian, and I believe that scientific evidence of the past and the history of the Bible aren't mutually exclusive. They can exist together. And how does this dummy define hyper-religious? I mean, hyper-religious, there are extremists in every religion. So I would agree with you that there are extremists in Christianity that have some wacko ideas, and unfortunately those are the people that you will see get platformed. Like, you remember like the Westboro Baptist Church, who said God hates gay people and would hold up signs and march. Those are the Christians that get platformed because it's sexier than just a Christian that lives their life with humility and devotion to God and following God's word. What a guy like this dope can't understand is he suggests that Christians are happier because they have a sense of community. That's a small piece to it. I don't think I can disagree with that. However, because he doesn't have Jesus in his life, he doesn't understand that the majority of that happiness for Christians is that they are at peace. They know where they're going when they're done with their turn on earth. That's ultimate peace. He also doesn't understand the concept of faith, that no matter how hard of times you're going through, things will be okay. And that there's a reason you're going through those things, and that God has a plan for you, and he illuminates that path for you, but you have to be the one to choose to take that path. Needless to say, I haven't heard a single good argument out of this guy Andrew Wilson's talking to so far. Let's get back to the video.
With the religion itself.
Oh, you want to talk about like Christianity?
Well, if you have a problem with Christianity, yeah.
I mean, I'm not really to be fair, I don't think I'm too interested. I don't think I can get too into a deep theological talk.
Well, I'm not really trying to get into a deep theological talk. What I'm trying to discuss here is motivation.
I'll dial it back here. Get personal for a second. I have admitted this multiple times on stream. I have a little bit of like resentment with how religion was taught to me personally. So I try to steer clear of like the deep theological debates about Christianity. My general summary, if you don't mind, really quick, and I'll hand it over to you, is just that, yes, people who have a sense of community, whether that be a secular sense of community or a religious circle and sense of community, is absolutely beneficial and has been proven to be such. I'm not advocating to take any of that away. I'm fine with people going to church. I'm fine with people being religious. I was raised as a Christian. I think there are some good like parts of the Bible. There are some good things you can take away from religion. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not anti-religion here. My argument ultimately was that white evangelical, the fundamentalist Christians, those are more of the people that I'm concerned about on a statistical level. And it doesn't mean they can't be reached, but it just means that they would be more likely to perpetuate harm. And again, there's nothing harmful with being gay.
But what about the harm perpetuated against them for telling them that their beliefs are incorrect, even though their happiness level is higher?
Well, what do you mean? Their beliefs.
So what I'm asking is, why is it that we should sacrifice the happiness of 200 million people in order to accommodate this small handful of people?
Well, I'm not trying to get rid of anything, though. This is the thing. No one.
Well, you don't think that homosexual marriage, for instance, is a complete slap in the face towards Christians?
Well,
their fundamental belief structure says
then this is where we would have to
between one man and one woman.
So this is where we'd have to
say your happiness.
If you like watching videos like this one, like and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Let's get back to the video.
Level for your religion needs to be completely eradicated.
No.
Accommodate these people here.
Hold on. This is pushing me into like trying to push me into like a bad optical corner here, but no, not at all.
I'm not trying to.
I know, but it's not. Hold on. We're not. I'm sorry. I'm trying. I got super distracted at the chat at the last second there. Could you repeat what you said again? I apologize.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is,
hold on. I'd just like to also point out I'm having a bit of a slow night tonight, so it's
okay.
Defense.
So I'm just pointing out from the Christian side, they think to themselves, look, marriage is a religious institution to them. It's not a political institution.
Right. So
they don't think of it that way.
So this is
they think of it as a religious institution, and they think that the institution, if you allow homosexuals to become marriage, is destroying the institution of their very faith and grounding that they walk on.
But it's not the government's job to uphold any one religion. This has already been established by the Constitution, and it's a known fact that like we have separation of church and state in many ways.
Well, then why is it that the government issues marriage licenses at all? Why don't they just stay out of it?
I would agree with you. That's what, honestly, I would fucking love that. Yes, ultimately that.
So
would...
if that's the case, then why would you be angry about something that's not called marriage but gives you all the rights to marriage?
Well, I didn't know if did I ever say I was angry about that? I didn't.
Well, right. So one of the things
I think I talked about the tax incentives. I'm not sure what that.
Well, so one of the things that homosexual advocates did, there was something that was there in place for these people, for homosexuals, that was designed specifically.
Oh yeah, the civil union.
Civil union.
Yeah.
Yeah, but civil unions weren't good enough. It had to be marriage.
I don't
Why
know.
is
I
it
don't
that
know all the ins and outs, but I don't think I need to get into that. Like, no one's trying to take away anyone's happiness level, and we could just as easily flip this on its head and say that white evangelicals restricting people from getting married and living their lives freely, pursuing their right.
Yeah, if you recall, if you were around when, there was a real fight for gay rights in the United States, their stated goal was, we just want the same rights as everyone else. Because there are, again, tax incentives and other benefits to being married. So I think it was certain states, maybe not federally, but certain states approved civil unions that gave them all the rights of a married couple. And I'm not saying this about the gay community. I'm saying this about activists in general. Activist hustlers, race hustlers, that kind of person. For them, it's never good enough. Whatever their stated goal is, once they achieve it, if they don't keep acting like the group that they're defending is oppressed, then they're out of a job. So they need to keep it going. I said all the time, when you give liberals an inch, they take a mile. Nothing is ever good enough. I'm glad they're both in agreement that the government shouldn't issue marriage licenses. It's just a piece of paper. Again, because this kid had some bad experience with religion, what he doesn't understand about the Christian faith is that Christians don't care whatsoever about a marriage license. As Andrew said, it's a religious ceremony, and it is a covenant with God that is much stronger than any piece of paper that you can just tear up whenever you want because things aren't going well in your marriage. I think this guy is just way out of his depth here. I don't think he has a clue what he's talking about. Unfortunately, I think there's probably a lot more people that think like him, and that's sad. This country needs to move back towards the principles it was founded on, which were Judeo-Christian values. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
To life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that would restrict their happiness. What about gay people not being able to get married? What about two people that love each other and can't get married?
This is the fundamental question that we're coming to. This is why I'm bringing this up is, do we sacrifice the happiness of the 200 million people who believe in this institution as a religious institution for the people who believe that it's a secular institution?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Because just as easily, again, I'm going to defer you back to slavery. We sacrificed the happiness of a whole lot of Southerners when all of a sudden we made slavery illegal. But it doesn't mean that it wasn't the right thing to do, my dude. So absolutely, yes. In some instances, you have to sacrifice the quote-unquote happiness. But again, that would be flipping it on them. Why are they unhappy with the fact that gay people are getting married? They don't have a right. I'm sorry. Their religion does not have a right to dictate how the government is run. There needs to be a separation.
There's no government right anywhere in the United States Constitution for them to issue a marriage license. It's a state thing, right? Well, it should be a 10th Amendment thing, but the Supreme Court interpreted the Constitution and applied it towards a non-discrimination clause, which was designed for black people, had nothing to do with homosexuals at all. So yes, it should have defaulted to a 10th Amendment. And anytime it...
Now, one thing I did not have on my bingo card for this conversation was bringing up slavery in a conversation about the institution of marriage. So good job, Hunter. The thing that Hunter doesn't understand is Andrew is just saying that marriage is sacred to Christians. So to accommodate a very, very small group with a word, really, with a word instead of civil union, calling it a marriage, we're going to potentially sacrifice the happiness of a large group of people that have nothing to do with it. I don't think that's justified, but bottom line is the government shouldn't be involved in licensing marriage. Hunter Avalon clearly doesn't understand why Christians are happier on average than most people, and he doesn't understand why marriage is sacred to Christians. But we want to hear from you. What do you think about this conversation between Andrew Wilson and Hunter Avalon? Let us know. As always, we really appreciate you watching, and we will see you on the next one.